Bienvenidos, everybody. Welcome into the Campazzo Lounge. The
Facundo Campazzo.
You can call me Facu.
Did you guys plan that? That was pretty good.
Nope, it was pretty good. Guys,
sometimes we just break out into just unison.
I just wish I'd been part
calls.
of it, that's all.
Yeah.
The newest fan favorite. I think he's going to be the fan favorite.
It took 5 minutes. I think
it did take 5 minutes.
Well, he's a new fan favorite in that all of the new fans are a major fan base. So they've just overwhelmed the existing fan base.
But honestly, guys, Facundo Campazzo, one of the most interesting storylines of this entire Denver Nuggets season, maybe one of the most interesting storylines of the NBA season. We'll see how it breaks. But he's joining the Denver Nuggets. It feels like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But apparently this had been a thing that was in the works for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the Nuggets have been fans of his for a while, Michael Malone especially. And I hate you guys so much.
We didn't have to say anything.
You just sat here.
Michael Malone has been a fan of his because I think Quinn genuinely hates that we always bully him.
He hates it.
Is there anyone on
I
it
can't stop though, Harrison. I can't stop.
But is there anyone on
Apparently.
it that likes to be bullied? They're like, yeah, this is great.
Well, in another life, Harrison was just like a very professional reporter, and now he just gets bullied. by us.
Nobody had ever called me out for this in my previous life reporting until you guys came aboard.
We love it though, Harrison.
Anyways, Michael Malone, huge Campazzo fan.
Yeah.
Huge. Loves his competitiveness. Loves his intensity. So the Nuggets have been hoping he would come over for a while. Everything lined up for him to come over this offseason. And, I mean, they are stoked.
Yeah.
They're thrilled.
And especially thrilled, I think, after preseason game number 1. Let's go to last year's stats, though, to kind of get a lay of what Campazzo does here. And look at this here. 3-point shooting, okay, whatever. 6.7 assists. This is, of course, we're talking about EuroLeague, so stats we have to adjust for expectations here a little bit. But Harrison, what stands out to you?
The efficiency is lower than I might have expected. I mean, 38 from the field, under 30 from 3 in the EuroLeague. And, in the NBA, he's going to be going up against better athletes, better defenders.
More spacing.
More length. Yes, there is more spacing, but, I mean, the
better teammates.
level of play is obviously higher. So I'd say that's, I don't know, concerning, but just something that jumped out to me for sure. 6.7 assists, though. And, I mean, he wasn't playing like 35 minutes a game.
Assists are harder to come by in EuroLeague, too. Like in the NBA, they take a little liberties, pass like 3 dribbles.
Team assists, too.
Yeah,
valued over there.
But,
so.
There is like, so much about him has been talked about his defensive impact, which I think is a little bit surprising. And in the first game, to me, what stands out isn't the offense, which was there. It was the defense.
He's a bulldog. I mean, he's just going to play above his size. And, I do think in the regular season, you're going to see him have an impact on the defensive end. Going to blow some screens, going to force some turnovers. You brought up on a prior show that he reminds you of like a professional tag player out there.
Yeah,
the way
he does.
He evades screens. And I absolutely see it. But, I do think like what people worry about in the playoffs is more of that Kawhi Leonard thing of like, hey, you come over here. I know where I'm going. You know where I'm going, but I'm just bigger than you, and you can't contest this.
Yeah. So we talked about the competition steeper, Eric, but I'm curious. His teammates are better. His role is smaller, and I wonder if that allows him. Sometimes you get a point guard who's a do-everything type guy, has the ball in his hand. You give him guys that are more capable of knocking down shots. Maybe that's a little bit more important.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about him is he's just it's all effort. He's like the ultimate try-hard, but in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Like he just I feel like you can put him on Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi won't be able to get by him. He'll try to drive and Campazzo will be there. He'll cross him up. He'll just be there. You just can't get around this guy. You have to go through him. And
there's going to be a lot of whistles, whether it's being
so
called
many
on
whistles.
him or
We've
he
already
earned a
seen
phantom
this.
charge.
We've already seen this.
Yeah.
Like Dev brought this up. The idea that he just looks like he is at a disadvantage because of his size out there is going to get whistles from him. Like he's going to look as though he's being abused. In other cases, to other NBA players wouldn't fall.
The reversed charge call in that preseason game where they gave it to him live, he moves his feet 4 times and he's standing in the circle. It's not even close. But he's 5'10". So
they're like, that looks painful.
Yeah.
That guy. Let's go to our big question here. That's the central question for him, and we're not being subtle about this. Is his game going to translate to the NBA? Right. That's the thing everybody wants to know. One thing that I think will translate, though, is what we're talking about, that energy and effort, because let's be honest, guys, and I don't know if it's sustainable for the entire season plus playoffs, but the guy plays harder than everyone else. Yeah. And playing hard is a skill. This isn't like, if everybody played as hard as him. Like, you have to teach yourself how to go that hard. This is why, like, marathon runners just keep running. Like, yeah, not everybody can do that. Mentally,
Right.
you have to like sharpen that tool set. He's refined it over 29 years of playing, and he is elite at it.
He's also an ultra high IQ player. Like he's got an elite basketball IQ. And look, it's not like over in Europe he's playing with a bunch of sub 6 footers. You know, he's had to go amongst the trees too, at the highest levels with Argentina, and at the highest levels in Europe too. So he's known how to make an impact at his size. I just think the fact that he's such a smart player, he knows how to run an offense. He knows how to set his teammates up. Defensively, he knows where to be. He knows how to anticipate passes 1, 2, 3 passes ahead. I just think he has those intangibles that it will be hard for him not to make an impact.
And not only that, like he just, as you saw in the first preseason game, obviously, like nobody was playing at 100% except for he was playing at 150%. When we were joking about the Nuggets lost the game, but like they really honestly made a really hard charge comeback with that second unit. And Campazzo was treating each possession like it meant something.
It was
and
Game 7.
And he was stepping up, like with that pressure, he answered the bell. And he was hitting things. He was making the right pass.
He actually was best in the clutch.
He was right.
And I think the preseason.
He tightened up though. He really did.
I'm saying like he applied that real life pressure to that situation, even though it was like kind of absurd. Like he still took it that seriously, and with that pressure that he applied to himself, he really stepped up. And I think that's why you see his list of accolades look like the way that it does. Like this guy's legitimately just a winner.
He does the winning stuff, and in the NBA, there are a lot of players who have such a winning impact that they have not spent their careers refining the little things and caring about the little things. And I think you can come over and like literally through sheer effort alone generate 4 to 6 point swings for your team in a game. Like stealing the inbounds pass, which the Warriors were not even thinking he was going to try to do. He did it like 3 times. I do think he's going to make up little bits of ground, and I don't think he'll be in the star in the NBA, but I don't think it's a coincidence that everywhere he goes he wins.
No coincidence. You know what he won't do is he won't hit the side of the backboard in the fourth quarter
of a Game 7. Yeah. I wonder also if part of the value of his skill set is that it's infectious.
Yes.
Because him playing hard has an impact on the team, or has an impact on the game. But him playing hard, forcing everybody else to be like, well, if this dude's diving all over the place, I better. I mean, let's be honest. The contrast between Bol in that first preseason game and Campazzo's effort was like pretty stark.
What are you talking about?
But that's not fair to Bol. I'm not trying to rag on it, but it was just he was only there for a few minutes. But what I mean is, when there's a guy on the court that's given that much effort, it's just like you can't not match that, especially if you're a second unit player. And so I think that'll be one of the biggest things he brings to this team is that level of intensity. Let's go to the over-under, though, for him. And, this one is still a huge mystery for us. It's about minutes per game. We had Monte at 22. Let's put Campazzo at 22. Eric, I'm going to start with you this time. What do you think?
I think it's going to be an over. I really think that he is going to start out in that traditional just like backup 1 or 2, whatever he's playing role. But I think he's going to be on the closing lineup for the Nuggets.
Wow.
Closing
Jumping ahead to your bold prediction, potentially.
This is actually bolder than my bold prediction. If we could actually make that change.
What do you think,
I'm going to go over. I think he plays more than Monte. So from that line of thinking, I'll go over. I just think how hard he plays, how he can just change a game in one possession with a steal or a deflection or taking a charge. That stuff is just going to get him on the court. And I'm with Eric. I think he's going to play himself into a closing lineup in some games. Like, if he's just hot, Nuggets are going to have to leave him on the floor to close games. Yep. I think he's going to be that much of a difference maker.
It's weird to me that we're so much, the panel here, so much higher on Campazzo's ability to break into the rotation than we were on Isaiah Thomas's, who was coming off of an MVP caliber season.
Not at all the same player, though.
They're not the same player, and IT was coming off a pretty big injury, that held him out or whatever. But we're just Campazzo to me still has an enormous amount of mystery and question marks around him, and we just seem to have blown through all of those. Are you the same way? 22 is a given. He's playing over that.
I don't know if I would say it's a given, but I think the most important factor here is that Michael Malone is going to love this dude.
That's true.
Love
he is
him.
A Malone guy.
Both sides of the ball, I think he plays. Like, if Malone could turn himself into an NBA player right now, he would be Facundo Campazzo.
Totally true.
I think Campazzo is going to play for that reason. I also think, we talked about the infectiousness, which I think is going to come up a lot throughout this season. I think this team's going to look fresh,
Can we
less
just say-
stale.
Can we say tone setting?
But what about
infectiousness?
Like, can we
in a
not call it
pandemic?
2020?
contagious or
It's a little
infectious?
bit of a negative connotation, isn't it? But what about leadership skills, which is something I think we might see sort of emerge as a storyline. This guy, he's a rookie in the NBA, but he's a veteran leader in his basketball career. And is he going to have some sort of impact on the team in that way where Malone sees it and thinks, I need that out there on the floor in crunch time?
He's not going to be afraid to tell guys what to do.
Or where to be.
Nobody on this team. And another reason why I could see him just playing a big role, even closing some games, just his skill set, his unselfishness, his pass-first mentality, that's going to fit with the guys the Nuggets are closing a game with, too.
So do you have to adjust second unit lineups around him? I mean, does he become, in some ways, the linchpin? It's like, okay, well, we got to make this lineup fit Campazzo.
I mean, ideally, but I wonder if the second unit, you're just trying to put as many good players out on the floor.
I think that's it.
With one another. And you worry about fit secondary.
We've talked, maybe, but we've talked so much about how there's probably 7 guys that could all be a part of that second unit, right? Somebody's not going to make the cut. And I'm wondering if who those guys are has more to do with, all right, well, Campazzo's in, Monte Morris is in, so now we have to build a lineup around these guys.
Maybe if he was starting, because I think you have to build a lineup very carefully defensively for that reason.
Right.
When you've got a guy in there at that size. I don't know so much about the second unit. I'm with Wynn that I think this offseason Denver just sort of looked at it as, like, he's really good. We'll figure the fit thing out later.
And I mean, all you need to know is just look again at the look that Michael Malone gave to Facundo Campazzo.
It gives me
as he
This
came
is,
off, as he came off the floor. Like, Michael Malone could not have been more excited.
The most earnest handshake in human history.
He was like, he was
Good
like,
work, son.
just a single tear rolling down his cheek.
totally. So
it is like if you took Mason Plumlee and Torrey Craig's effort, combined it, and then condensed it into this tiny body frame. It's so dense.
And
so
he made
dense with Michael Malone energy.
Yeah, and he made like the passes he made everybody better. This is why it's not like IT is not a great parallel, because IT just went out there and like just wanted to get his shots up.
No,
he hit a
this is
few.
unfair to IT, man.
Oh, it's not. I mean, it's not unfair. It's not unfair. In that, like, I'm not
As far
assigning
as
a
player
value.
archetypes.
Yeah, I'm not assigning a value. I'm not saying IT sucks, whereas Facundo Campazzo is good. It's just for what the two bring to the table. Like, it's easier to be able to envision a world where Michael Malone is like, get out there, Facu, let's do this.
All right, now we're going to welcome in the homie Miroslav from Serbia. A little Serbian corner here to help us talk about Facu Campazzo.
I just like saying his name. Facu Campazzo.
Facu Campazzo. Miroslav, welcome in.
Thank you very much. And can I correct you just a bit?
Oh, boy, here it goes.
Okay.
Here it
maybe.
comes.
Unbelievable.
Listen, guys. Okay, so just to settle this debate about his last name, because if you thought that him saying his own last name is the finishing touch, no, it isn't. Because I will give you 2 answers. First thing, family name Campazzo comes from Treviso area in Italia, and it's at least 1,000 years old. The first notes about the Campazzo family comes from the year 1010.
Oh my God!
Check that on Google.
Miroslav, did you?
It's not some kind of
look
secret
this up?
document.
Did you go on Serbian Wikipedia to try?
Guys,
to...
let the man cook. Just let the man cook.
No. The way he says his last name is actually a Spanish pronunciation of this family name, which is completely acceptable for me. And what he actually says is not Campazzo, as you think, or Campazzo, as Harrison Steele says. It's listen carefully. It's Campazzo.
Wait. Do it again.
The Catalan Campazzo.
Campazzo. Very soft
Campazzo.
Spanish. Oh, the Argentinians are gonna hate me now. So it's a very soft Spanish Campazzo. And
Yo, we're
if you
going
don't
straight
believe me,
Catalan.
It's Ustedes. You don't use it unless you're in Spain.
I get that about the Spanish, but is that even how he said it? I don't think so. We'll check the tape.
The greatest part of this
if you don't-
is that we cannot take
Campazzo.
the man pronouncing his own last name as the correct pronunciation. It's
No,
incredible.
it's just that your ears are not sensitive enough for European languages.
We
This
don't
is
have
the
Hey, if
thing.
you want to know the truth, though, Mades is the same thing. Like, it's not like a great Spanish pronunciation. It's like a third-generation Spanish
Right.
name. That's like
you don't
it's
put
evolved.
that tongue roll on it. Like
And it would
you
be
could.
like Mades But I say it Madez.
It'd be more like Marez.
If you're here long enough, they just drop the whole letter. Like there's a G in my last name, but we don't even bother.
Well, the point I think is that things evolve over time. But Miroslav, as much as we enjoy this education on his name and how or how not to pronounce it, what I'm really curious about is just what kind of player he is, because we don't know. We're taking your word on it. But we want you to make 3 bold predictions. Not 1, not 2. 3 bold predictions about Campazzo this year.
Very good. Very good. Perfect, Adam. Okay, so the first one is quite mild. I will say my take is that Campazzo will be playing off the bench between 20 and 24 minutes per game.
Okay.
So this is just my first mild take.
Yeah.
Very mild.
Spot on analysis.
Very mild. All right, give us the medium take now. Can we get a little pepper in there?
Okay, so the medium take. By the end of January, Campazzo will be in the closing lineup of close games.
Wow. By January.
That's literally 5 games into the season.
Let's give the man a full month. By the
okay,
end of
1 month in. All right, the closing lineup. Okay.
Bring it home.
This one's spicy. This is so spicy.
Okay. So Facundo Campazzo will lead the Nuggets in assists per 36 minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's actually not that spicy to me. Yeah. That's all right. That's okay. So 24 minutes per game, but he's going to get a lot of assists. So per 36, it'll be really, really
The
high.
spiciest take of this show has been the pronunciation. By far. I'm still just blown away by that.
I dare you to bring that up to Malone today. Say, how is Campazzo? All right. Well, those are pretty spicy. So you think he's going to have a good year? I mean, you're pretty optimistic.
Yeah, I am. He wouldn't be coming to the NBA if doesn't believe in himself, and I'm pretty sure that he has some kind of promises from the Denver Nuggets staff as well. They've been wanting him for several years now, so it's a mutual interest. I would say a mutual love. So I think. I mean, my spicy take is that he would be really good next to Monte Morris, Bol. And then, Jermichael Green and let's say Hartenstein. Oh, yeah, Hartenstein.
There we go. Stein.
Very good
Pronunciation corner.
Well, this has been pronunciation corner. This has been great. All right, well, we're excited, and we're going to obviously have Miroslav on the DNVR Nuggets podcast
Looking
throughout
forward
the year,
to it.
doing a little Serbian corner
on the
whenever
podcast.
it's needed. I didn't know this was also Argentinian corner. It was Treviso corner. I mean, it was really everything.
He's a well-traveled man.
He is a man of the world. Miroslav, thank you so much, buddy. Well, let's go to bold predictions then, and we'll start with Eric here this time.
MVP.
No, we're not starting with Eric.
Oh,
we're starting with
we have an
Brendan
order here. We'll go
every
with Brendan.
time.
I hope someone's watching all of these videos in a row and they are just sick to
They're
death
outraged
of
in the
this
same way that
joke.
we are.
Just furious. Okay, my bold prediction, a lot less bold sitting here now after the first preseason game.
This is already happened.
Yeah, because it already happened. I said he was going to be a fan favorite, which seemed bold at the time, but nope. I think, how could you not love him? It's infectious for his teammates. How about for the fan base too? Last time we were all in the DNVR bar watching Nuggets basketball, we were sweating out the results of an electrifying, historic playoff run. Watching Facundo Campazzo in the fourth quarter of a preseason game, I started sweating again by the end.
He's going to make the regular season very watchable.
He's just that dude.
It's gonna
I
be
think you have a
watchable every time.
glandular issue, to be
So,
honest.
I mean, you go through the fan favorites. Kenneth Freed, Eduardo Nahara. You had Ryan Bowen. You
Danilo?
had Birdman.
Birdman?
No, Gallinari's like the star.
More of a-
I'm
yeah,
talking
sure.
about the guy, and they're all just the hustle guy. Denver
Yeah.
loves a hustle guy, you know?
They do
So
love a hustle guy.
I think it's
Lunch
close.
pailers.
We do love a hustle guy.
We do love a hustle guy. Who's next?
Me? Eric? Oh, it's Adam.
Oh, it's you, Adam.
It's going to be on Denver's best offensive lineup.
Love it.
I think this one is going to be a lock. I don't know that it's going to be the closing. I don't know that it's going to be this or that. But when you put out Murray, Jokic, Campazzo, Michael Porter Jr., look, that lineup is going to score literally every time down the court. It's like,
That's
is it
tasty.
going to be a free throw, a three-pointer, or a dunk? Like, which one's it going to be? I don't know if it can defend, so I think it's more of like a let's put it out there for 3 straight minutes and see if we just score like 20 points in 3 minutes. But I think it will score 20 points in 3 minutes almost every single time. Can't wait.
It's funny. Like I feel like you should say they instead of it. I don't.
It's they. Oh, here's Harrison's.
Campazzo leads the team in technical fouls. Dude, this guy is fiery, man. Campazzo is fiery. He's such a tenacious competitor, man.
He's got Italian plus
he's not
South American
he's not afraid
blood.
to let his emotions show. I could see him just being super feisty.
So I think I don't know if he's going to lead the team in technical fouls. I think he's 100% going to lead the team and maybe the NBA in technical fouls drawn.
Yeah.
Like, I think he'll get his
He
fair
almost
share.
drew one in a preseason game.
Should we take bets on who will take the
Well,
first?
I have
swing
$5
at
on
Campazzo?
DeMarcus Cousins just throwing a ball.
But I think
And
this is
whiffing over the top
a
of his
good
head.
thing for the Nuggets. Like that's my thinking about this. It's good for them to have a little bit of an instigator, and a 5'11" instigator it makes it even better.
I love this
My money, by
Tiny
the way,
King
is on
development.
Chris Paul. Chris Paul will throw the first punch. At
It'll just be those guys untying each other's shoes.
Oh, they're going to be so annoying. All right, Eric, give us a bold take. What do you got?
My bold take is that Facundo Campazzo will become a major part of the rotation.
Yeah, that's not this is the least bold take ever, man.
He walked into Denver.
I predict he's going to make the roster. He will be on the 5th. When the cuts are made, he will be on.
In that he will not only be the head of the second unit, but he'll be part of the closing unit.
Oh, wow. I feel like he's more of the balls of the second unit.
Well, is this your take or my take? I mean, I thought I had a little.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We love Facu. He's going to be
Facu!
interactive this year. I honestly don't see a scenario where he's not a storyline for the season. I think he is a storyline all the way through it, and that's great because it's a new storyline we didn't see happening.
I wonder if 3 months from now we're going to be still talking about how hard he plays. Because I think it's going to
just get used to.
I think it's
going to.
But I think that's true. But it's also just going to stand out every game, or it could just be a talking point.
Yo, what if all of the Nuggets sort of take the tone he sets and play at this level the entire year? Will the Nuggets lose a game this year?
I don't think so.
Can you imagine Yoke diving head first out of
He kind of was like that the first game.
Oh, he was fiery.
No?
Jokic was fiery.
No, I'm saying.
You know, I do. It is the new storyline. It is like when your favorite TV show adds a new character, and you're like, oh wow, I didn't see this happening. This season's going to happen in abroad. Like, all right, that's what it is like with Campazzo. We got a whole new storyline.
Got an origin story.
An origin story of Mighty Mouse. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget, subscribe on YouTube. Hit the like button. But also subscribe on DNVR. Then you get our bonus material. This is the free section. We also speak with George Carl. We get wind chimes. People talking about Facundo Campazzo. Eric gives a crazy take. You thought his takes now were not crazy. They get even crazier.
Do they?
Yeah, and and then we have the fan vote. We hear what you had to say about Campazzo, what your expectations are. You'll want to check those out on thednvr.com. Thanks, everybody.
Adios.